Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of the Evexia Effect. I'm Gilly, your host, and we've got a wonderful guest here today, Dimitra, and we're going to talk about movement, soul, symbolism, and sacred breathing. So, for our listeners, Dimitra, can you explain to our audience who you are, what do you create, and the world of sacred breathing within Greece?
Yeah. Hello, Julie. Thank you for this invitation. Thank you for this opportunity and congratulations for your work. And yes, my artistic name is in Greek is Ieri Pnoi, which means, as you said, sacred breath. This way, I would like to orientate myself to give me an identity which is beyond roles and beyond specific characteristics, because I believe that everybody is a sacred breath. So I give an identity which is unique, but also common to everybody. However, I have some tools to express myself in my uniqueness. And these tools is the dance therapy, the dance movement psychotherapy. It's the Byzantine art. And it's also my love for mindfulness and meditation. So with these tools, I combine my playground and I create playful experiences to invite more and more people. Mm.
Amazing. So, psychology, dance, movement therapy, your Byzantine inspired painting. What is actually connecting all these things together?
Actually, it is my need to connect with my psyche. And since I believe that there is not such a thing as a personal psyche, the way we understand it in the two-dimensional world, it's my need to connect with the collective psyche and also with the psyche of the planet. And this connection, this inner dialogue can happen for me the way I investigate it only through images, through myths and images. So the symbolism in psychology, the archetypal work, the inner work, also the work with the painting, the visionary art, and Byzantine work also, which is so much symbolic, they all connect through the use of image and myth, which is the inner dialogue with the psyche. Yeah.
Amazing, really fascinating. I'm just going to ask you a bit of a question, which is kind of skipping out of what we're talking about,
Lovely.
just before we keep on moving on.
I love.
If somebody only remembers one thing about your work after this episode, what do you hope it will be?
Ah, interesting. Because I do not focus on my work as a piece that is gonna stay back like a heritage. It's mostly my inner work with myself, and if it influences, then it's okay, but it's not in my intentions. However, I would like people to remember that they are sacred breaths and that their life is sacred, because nowadays life is quite disenchanted, isn't it? There is no magic, there is not this divine purpose, this sacredness of this in this daily routine. So what I do, all my work and all my intention is to connect with this sacred realm in my daily life and to see the beauty of life through these magical lenses. And
That's wonderful. It's wonderful to speak to somebody that has this outlook and this vibe and this energy, because we do live in a materialistic world and we're about achieving goals, the next best thing, and we forget who we are and what our actual purpose as human beings being on this earth actually is. And we're going down this world of money, egos, and we're not connected to the earth as we should be. So it's it is breathtaking to be able to speak to somebody that has that energy.
They say that you have to give what you are not taken, what you are not given, sorry. So
Okay.
I need to have around me people to inspire me. So my need is my soil in order to create this for other people. I want to inspire people the same. I want to be inspired by people. Inspiration, it's like taking the spirit inside and bringing into life. Mm.
Wow. Is there a moment that that happened in your life where you realize that this was the case?
Like a like a thunder moment.
Like an epiphany? Not necessarily. It doesn't have to be something so dramatic. It could be something that's happened in your life, and maybe you were going down one path and you realize that you needed to go down this path, or you studied all these different things, psychology, dance, and you realize that actually this is about healing. This is about yourself, about the sacred breath of yourself. And the point of having to or wanting to help other people with that situation.
Mm, to be honest, it's everything is about remembering. So when I was a child, I remembered that I want to come closer to my psyche. This is what I needed. And I remembered that I wanted to do it through the arts. I didn't know how, and I didn't believe that it existed. My parents and my society didn't have this option. So I believe that we remember that the only thing we need to do is to feel our thirst. And this thirst can guide us to more and more remembering and connecting with the authenticity inside of us, which is actually the inner child. The more we connect with the authenticity inside, the more we connect with the child, like this awkward Dimitrula. She was 5 years old and she knew without knowing, and she was happy without searching.
Yeah, that's it's so true. That inner child and being able to connect to that inner child. When you're a child, your stresses are not the same as an adult, and there should be no reason why you don't have that same feeling. We create the stresses in our life. We create all that. It's all man-made.
Yeah.
Life should not be that complicated. If we can keep our inner child or refine our inner child, the stresses should deteriorate somewhat.
Mm, to be honest, that's quite tricky. It's not that easy as it sounds, because in order to get through this la la land of the inner child, you need to pass through the trauma. Because the inner child holds in their hands the trauma, the dark area of the wounded child. So, not all people are willing to do it. Yes, it's painful.
True. Yeah, it is painful experience. I can definitely tell you from my experience, it's not easy to relive the trauma, whether it's through psychotherapy or different avenues. I'm going to ask you a question. What did you find first? Psychology, dance, movement? What was the thing that you did first before everything else?
I did. Well, it's been too long. I was a child when I was working with all of them. I was a ballerina when I was a child.
Oh, nice.
But I was also reading books on metaphysics when I was 10 years old. Yeah. Like,
So you were influenced from a very early age from all aspects.
yes, as I said, I was remembering. I was in contact with my soul. And it's interesting, in ancient Greece, mnemosini, which means remembrance, is the mother of the muses. The muses are the consorts of Apollo. Apollo, the son of light, the representation of enlightenment, he's accompanied by 9 muses, which is the representation of the arts. So these arts are being activated only when mnemosini, where remembrance is coming back to us. Isn't it?
Wow. It's I love how everything that we can talk about, especially here in Greece, can always refer back to the ancient Greek gods, the way that the ancient people were brought up, introduced to life. There's a lot of connection there. Modern day words, modern day way of living, we can find those roots back to ancient Greece.
Indeed, and actually, these roots takes you back to yourself because they talk about the areas of your psyche and how do you relate with them. It's everything is a reflection of the inner world.
It's
Magical,
fascinating.
fascinating.
It's Yeah. Um, in simple terms, what is dance and movement psychotherapy? Obviously, we're talking about it, but the everyday person really doesn't know what it is. So, if you can explain that, that would be amazing.
Yeah, in general, this is a kind of a psychotherapeutic approach that is working a lot with bodily expressions, is working a lot with imagery that is created through the movement. Under this approach, which is a big umbrella, you can find many other smaller approaches that are interconnected with body movement and body work and mindfulness. And so there are many ways you can use it. And what is interesting in this approach is that there is no censorship because the mind does not, you do not speak through your mind. You are not influenced by what is good and what is bad, what you want to communicate and what you don't want. And you can enter the traumatic area uh, very smoothly, so that the consciousness is not shocked, but the unconscious can still be expressed perfectly through the body, through the movement, through the touch.
Is that what makes it such a powerful method, I would say, in helping with your mental health?
Yes, and also that movement is really sad to say that it feels in our society in 2026 is a kind of a taboo. I meet many, many people who say, no, I cannot dance. I don't know how to dance. It's like something you need to have a certificate in order to dance. And that makes me really sad. Everybody knows how to dance. There is no how to.
That I think that comes from that whole humanized way of thinking. We have to have the next goal, the next achievement. So you have to
Mm.
go to ballet school, you have to get the next certificate, or you have to go to ballroom dancing in the UK. It's that whole thing. Nobody just lets go. And as a child, children just dance freely. They're not
Exactly.
taught how to dance.
To be authentic is also a big problem when people are watching in the screen, on their mobile, in the media, all these amazing people who are super talented, and then they cannot avoid comparing themselves to them, yes. And they think that this is dancing. You
Yeah.
need to be a professional, like to express yourself. Mm. To be honest,
Um,
I like to dance when there is a kind of rhythm, to dance out of rhythm, like to break these small taboos. And I really love to see people being expressive in a way which is hilarious.
what do you notice in people when they do stop trying to do it their way, and they just start to listen to their body? What is that thing that you notice within the people?
The inner child, the inner child is there. And they really enjoy it, and they really make fun, and they really connect with the inner flame inside of them. Mm. Then I'm learning from them, actually. I'm just there to
Amazing.
ignite the fire, and then I'm learning from them.
So,
Nice.
in the past, you have also worked in some serious settings as well. So, mental health, addiction recovery, primary education. What did those environments teach you about what healing actually requires?
Well, each of these settlement is very different. The population is unique. But if I want to point out a common thing, I would say safety. If people are able to feel safe into the environment I create, like they can have their own pace, they can speak the way they want to speak, they can move the way they want to move without being judged and being listened. People do not have ears nowadays. It's very difficult to be listened. If you can be listened exactly what you want to say, like to be listened, this is very important.
Fantastic. I really connect to what you're saying there because um, in the past, I've had my own mental health issues, and I've had situations where I felt like somebody's ignored me, and that made me feel worse. But the moment that I just feel like they may not be doing anything, but I just felt like somebody was listening to me, and I felt like I was in a safe space, even though maybe they're not really doing anything to
Mm,
help.
mm.
It felt like it was helping me. Does that make sense?
Bravo. Of course. It's not that I will give you solutions for yourself. You only have the solutions, and you will find them when you feel safe in this environment of being together with somebody, but really meeting together where there is the pain. Mm.
Yeah, I do really relate to what you're saying. I could talk about that for a long time, but won't digress so much. I want to move on to wellness in Greece. So, as you know, we have the tour operator travel agency Retreats in Greece, and it is all about sharing Greece as the ultimate wellness destination, and that is for many different reasons. Greece is There is something special about the land in Greece, mythical, ancient, but the most of all is that feeling that people have when they do touch the ground here in Greece. And I'm sure you relate completely to that. But unfortunately, we have a world of Instagram, a world of social media that shows it off as being pretty, and we're like marketing as wellness in Greece. It's all like, I would say, dreams, etc. So, what I want to ask you is, beyond this whole Instagram version of Greece and something that we're trying to really promote in retreats in Greece, what does it mean to you, wellness in Greece?
Oh, it's such a wonderful question. You know, some questions when they are so beautiful, you don't need to give any answer. You will, but let me try, because for me, I have traveled a lot in the West and in the East. For me, Greece is balance of East and West, of masculine and feminine, of science and spirituality. Greece will never be Europe. And Greece is not Asia, also, will never, but it's something that brings together these things. Also, Greek philosophy was very spiritual, was very close to Buddha teaching, but it was also very scientific. All the sciences are influenced by Aristotle and Plato, yeah? But also Heraclitus is very, very common to Advaita Vedanta and to these non-duality teachings, which are very famous today. So Greece is combining and bringing together in balance all these elements, and this is the ground for us to experience this balance within us. And maybe I would say, not in a cognitive level, not mentally, but consciously or instinctually. Also, the climate here is quite mild in comparison to most of the countries on the planet. So this balance inside can teach us, can open us another way of being cozy, calm, safe, trusting the inner voice and being guided from that point. Wellness in Greece.
That is an amazing way to put it. And to be honest, I've never really considered the climate. It is it is a balanced climate, I would say.
Mhm.
Um, you don't have extremes. It is, even though I've got a cold day today, it's still sunny outside. It's still a glorious day. And I do think it makes, yes, a different consideration that I've never thought about. You've opened my mind in that. Um, you've also studied uh, Byzantine paintings, and you speak about the continuation of ancient Greek tradition. How does that come into living practice, not just the history? To be honest, I don't know very much about uh, Byzantine paintings. It's not something that's to my knowledge. So if you want to explain a little bit about it first, that would be really helpful for me and probably to our listeners as well.
Yeah, sure. Byzantine painting is not just a technique, it's a philosophy. It's the way how to see life. And for example, the way they use the light comes from within the forms. It doesn't come from some source on the left or on the right, it comes from within. So it refers to the inner dimension. Also, the reference point, the perspective is different, so that the reference point is always you, is always the observer, which means that me as an artist, I am creating an open dialogue. I'm not creating a statement that this is it and you need to get tuned to what I want to say. No, I just create an open window for your soul. This is why the Byzantine faces have something neutral. It's not like the Western iconography, which is very dramatic and very emotional. This neutrality offers to you the space to reflect on them, your feelings. This neutrality is also a very important axis in ancient Greece. And not only ancient Greece, I would say also ancient Egypt, because there is a sequence. The more the human, the civilization of the Mediterranean world is evolving and is changing, this is reflected on the arts. So the Byzantine art it started from the Fayums, which is the portraits or the Egyptian portraits of the dead people. And it was really deeply influenced by the ancient painting. Sometimes when I go to the museums and I paint the statues, I do some drawings, I see that the lines and the way they think is very, very similar to the Byzantine. So I wouldn't like to make distinctions. This distinction is like boundaries we need to have in our cognitive understanding between the eras, the artistic eras, in order to have some concepts in the mind. Am I clear or do I make it more
Very
chaotic?
clear.
No?
Very, very clear. Yes, I following it very well. So you mentioned symbolism, myths, and divinities. Why do these images matter to psychology?
This is the language of the psyche, isn't it? When you
Okay.
dream, how does your psyche speak to you? Mm. and all this mythic journey, as Joseph Campbell unfolds it, as Carl Gustav Jung expressed it through the archetypal work, as all the uh, collective unconscious through the tribal mythology and through the rituals, they express it through the arts, because the arts can describe that which cannot be reached out by the cognitive mind. Did I answer your
Okay.
question? Which I forgot your question.
It was why do images matter to psychology? So yes, you
Yes,
did
sure.
answer the question. Um, so you've said paintings become um, your inner voice, basically. So how do you recognize that inner voice, and how do you know when it's real? Does that make sense? That question.
Of course, of course. The inner voice is usually a pin in the ass. It always speaks with certainty, is very firm, is it doesn't have a very strong, like you have to do that. It comes, it's very soft, but it usually pushes me out of my comfort zone.
Okay.
So when my mind wants to negotiate, let's say, well, let's try this, let's do that, maybe, well, the inner voice is like thunder. It's like, that's it. Uh,
So would you say this is what your visionary paintings are?
uh, my visionary paintings is my attempt to cultivate this inner voice through an inner dialogue with my unconscious and sequentially with the collective unconscious. So I feel like I am a cell of an organism. This organism is called an archetype. I am a representation of a specific archetype. And this archetype is in the service of the not only the human but the planetary consciousness. The more I am aware of it, the more my personal drama becomes not so important. I would say even sometimes funny.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't want to underestimate it. I just want to give it a bigger dimension because it's not personal anymore. It is collective. Humanity is thriving to wake up the same way that the planet is thriving to wake up from an old dream, a bad dream, where there is an eye against eye, these old rules which do not serve anything anymore. And now, me and you and everybody who belong to this archetype, who are in the service of the collective, they need internally to find their way to communicate it. And my way, it is arts, it is mindfulness, it is embodied practices.
So your paintings, are they just for you, or does somebody looking at your paintings gain something from viewing it?
Mm. You know, at the moment you are connected with the collective, there is not you and other.
Okay.
It's
So
like
if
when
I
you
was
say, mm, it's like when you say, like I have a headache, but it has nothing to do with my body, it's only with my head. Hmm?
okay.
No,
So
the
if
head
I
is
was
part
to
of the body.
view your paintings, if I was to come and you've got a lovely painting behind you there, if I was to come and view them, um, am I going to get something from that, or do I need to create my own paintings to have my own healing journey?
I have no idea, really. I only know that I meet people in my exhibitions that give me information about my paintings, which I didn't know. I only know that my paintings exist in another, like I'm grounding something that is already in life. And if
Yeah.
it is already in life, it is beyond me. I do not control, I do not rule it, I am just serving it. And some people, they burst into tears when they see it. I don't know what they feel. I don't want to investigate. Some people, they feel nothing. They are asking, what is this? And they wait for me to give information, like to give a yes. And some people, they give me very specific information about the life of this figure in the painting.
Do you think that says a lot about the person that's viewing your painting, about how much they found their inner child, how much they're grounded?
That we are all connected with some specific fragrance. If my fragrance and your fragrance, they correlate with each other, it's a vibration, let's say, then it makes sense. But it has to do with I wouldn't like to say level of consciousness. There are not levels of consciousness, but with the openness and the way we understand, the way we philosophize life.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
My thoughts going away with me right now.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's talk about your retreats and workshops, because all this that you're doing has now developed into some wonderful retreats and wonderful workshops that you're doing. Um, when you create your retreats and workshop experience, what transformation are you trying to facilitate for your guests?
I really trust this inner intelligence, which in collaboration, let's say, with the ground of Ariadne's garden, they create this transformation themselves. Me, myself, I just need to bring this certainty of safety so that people can trust and let go. When they let go and trust, everything is there. Everything is done by this higher intelligence. I don't need to do anything, just facilitate the work that is already happening. I want to say something for the history of the garden. This garden, it was created by a philosopher and a spiritual teacher in 19 in the 1990s, 1980s maybe, and it was created as a shelter, let's say, for the people who are doing the inner work, so that they can have some space for recharging and inner inspiration. I would say that this is maybe the first retreat in Greece before even the term retreat existed in Greece. So I am here as a continuation of this intention of Ariadne's. Ariadne's, of course, now is not in life, but the intention is alive through my intention, and I am there to serve this transformation, as you said, just to
That's
serve it. I'm not creating it.
that is a beautiful thing to be doing.
Mm.
Um, what makes it different from, as you said, you're possibly one of the first retreats from Greece, in Greece. Now there's all different types of retreats, but you have that typical yoga retreat. What sets you, makes it different, unique to your standard retreat that's on, I would say that is Instagrammable these days.
Yeah, I understand. Actually, it is the focus on the arts on a way that we can help you find out that you are an artist and you don't know. So we are focusing on intuitive arts. You don't need to know. We are just getting tuned with the inner river that flows through your veins, and then art comes up very naturally. So intuitive arts is something that I haven't met in any retreat, like an axis on the retreats. And it's also uh, enriched by movement and mindfulness and embodied practices such as dance therapy, yoga, aerial yoga, yoga nidra, and walking meditation through our spiral and our garden. And of course, the ground of Galaxy, which is an amazing place to enjoy this tranquility and this peacefulness and this beauty. Is such a picturesque, very traditional place that empowers all this beauty within you. It makes you want to say, yes, I want to open up myself here.
Amazing. Is your retreat designed for somebody in particular, or is it for anybody?
Of course, it can be used from a big variety of people because they can take it as deep as they want. Just because it is intuitive, they can choose how deep they want to go. So if somebody wants to just have holidays and explore themselves into the arts and be playful with that, yes, I would say it is helpful for them. If also somebody wants to go deeper and do some profound work, some inner work, some shadow work with the archetypes, then the images are there, the arts are there to support this work also. And we are very happy to support this journey.
Wonderful, absolutely perfect. Why do you believe that this matters? Why do you believe that delivering these retreats is what is needed in Greece, Europe, the world right now?
Actually, just focusing on my journey, on my life. If my life didn't have these retreats, which most of them were personally created for myself, then I wouldn't be able to give what I can give now. If you do not open the uh, Pandora's box, you will not find your treasures. You will not find the gold on which you are sitting. And these retreats give you the opportunity to feel safe, like to tell you you are not alone. And it's not that dark, darkness is not something bad. Darkness is something that needs your love and your light so that it's being seen again. In darkness is our forgotten children. Imagine how many talents we hide in this darkness. And it's a shame we will never be full if we do not deliver into life, into the light, these children. It's such a pity, isn't it? To be
It
so
is.
talented, to be so rich, and not to be aware of this richness of life within.
Yeah, what you're saying is music to my ears, that for somebody to go to find that darkness and to work with that darkness, I think we ignore it because we're scared of it. I think we are scared of our darkness. So a lot of people do ignore it.
Now, what is funny is that darkness is actually what we experience in our daily life. And we
Yeah.
think that if we go to a retreat, then we will have to deal our darkness. No, we
Yeah.
deal our darkness, and every day we are living our darkness. Like all these dramas and all these problems we create is a result of our darkness. We just need to see it and liberate it. And this is not a dark. This is not a dirty job.
If someone's feeling burnt out, disconnected, or numb, one of our listeners today, maybe, what is one small first step you would invite them to take on this week to help them a little bit?
Yes, this first step would be a step back. Just step back and listen. What is being communicated through your feeling? Listen to the body. How does your feeling make you feel? How does your thought make you feel? And what is their narration? If you don't see it personally, if you see it as somebody in there who is going to tell you something, what is their narration? Just listen, step back, relax, as you can and accept what is being communicated right now. This is very heroic act, actually. It's not easy to do, and it's not easy
It's
to
wise,
create space
wise
also.
advice, though,
No.
because we're stuck in this world where we're in the midst of everything, and we can't deal with it. If you've got things coming at you from all different directions, how are you supposed to escape that or improve from that? The only way to do it is to step your way out of it,
Yes, and slow down. No?
to look at it from an outsider rather than an insider. Very, very wise advice. Um, it's been an amazing podcast. I've learned so much, and I'm sure our listeners have as well. Where can people find you, follow your work, and explore more about your retreats and workshops?
Where can people find me? Can people find me in Galaxy? Can people find me in internet in Ariadne's garden.gr? Can people find me in the media? It's very easy to find me. I am here, and I hope that the people who really want to find themselves, they will find the right people to support them. So I believe that the right people will come and find me without even trying to find me. However, I am there. Nah.
Well, I will give people a helping hand. So I will put your links on the description of our podcast. And when we do share it, they will be able to come and find you. But what you're doing is absolutely incredible. And it's a different way of what we said, wellness. It's a different way to look at things, but a fantastic way. I do really want to come and experience one of your retreats or workshops in the near future, because I think it would be, for me, I think it would be life changing. I think the way I look at things, the way I feel, I personally think it would be perfect. And
Oh,
I'm open to things now. If you'd have asked me 10 years ago, I would have said, no, no, no. I was closed. I was a closed person. Now I'm a little bit more open. I like to dance. I love dancing. I love painting. I love arts. I was definitely a little artist when I was a kid. So I do think what you're offering is something special, and your knowledge and just, yeah,
Really, thank you so much, and you are very welcome to the garden. I wanted to say that also this is a learning process for me. It's not me who is offering something. Me with you and with all the participants, we are shaping it and learning from each other. And I wanted also to share something last but not least for the people who are shy to share. There are the solo retreats available. So you can have all these services just for yourself.
perfect. Well,
Mm.
all that information is on the Retreats in Greece website.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
anybody does have any questions, they can ask me and we can work our way through it. But thank you so much, Dimitra. It has been an honor to speak to you.
Thank you
Um,
for giving me this opportunity, Jilly.
And thank you to all our listeners for listening. If you're not already following us and subscribing to us on Spotify, please do so, the Evexia Effect. And we will be back soon with another episode. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day, everybody. Bye bye.
Ciao, ciao.